Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. Today, we're sitting down to review what was round 4 in the Southwest Conference. And again, I've got Beck McIntyre joining me. It was a small round of basketball in the Southwest, Beck.
Yes, there wasn't too many men's games, and there was only one women's game. So, it was not a big weekend for the Southwest.
We had some big crowds, though, which was great to see. And let's start with the men. And Terang hosted Millicent, but weren't able to defend their home court, unfortunately.
Yes, it looks like it was a pretty tight game, though. It looks like for the first half, as Terang actually were leading at quarter time and then only down by a few at halftime. So Millicent have come out and had a big ripping second half. Some regulars scoring some points for Millicent. We had Jack Haggett at his best again with 31 points. We had another few top scorers, Harry Mules at 28 and Cade Bradley with 16. So, it looks like they only had about 6 or 7 players, but have managed to come out on top there.
And in conjunction with the Warrnambool Junior Seaside tournament, we had Portland travelling into Warrnambool, and they were able to walk out with the W over the Seahawks.
Yeah, that would have been an absolutely amazing crowd, I'd imagine, with the stadium filled with all the junior players. So big tournament, and big shout out to Jack down there. They would be very tired today, I would think, after that massive weekend. So, it looks like it was closer than what I maybe thought, considering the scores that we've been seeing. Portland's definitely pushed out to the front to be one of the top teams. So I may have expected that to potentially be a little bit of a bigger win, but maybe that home crowd got Warrnambool up and about, and they'd be happy with that, I would think.
And then on Sunday, Millicent pulled into Hamilton on the way home, and another really big score here from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to see how high the scores are. That there might be some, as we talk about weekly, some defensive work that needs to happen at training across the Southwest for this week. But 115 to 86. I mean, Hamilton, it looks like they're doing everything right, apart from just not getting out over the line in the 4 quarters. So they're putting up massive scores week in, week out now, consistently for them. So there's lots to like from where I think Hamilton are going to be in the future. But I reckon, coming around hitting some of these times for these teams for the second time, Hamilton will be looking to potentially get a few wins, I reckon.
Surely they will be, and they'll get one eventually as well. Like they'll play the right game for 4 quarters at some stage, and they'll steal a victory from someone. It's just a matter of time before that happens.
Yeah, Millicent had 3 players with over 20 points. So that's pretty impressive for a Sunday too, after backing it up from the night before. So 3 of their players scored nearly 70 of their points. So, so that's been a big day out for them.
And let's just have a quick look at the ladder. We've got Horsham sitting on top with a 3-0 record currently, followed closely behind by Portland, who have a 4-1 record. We then have Mount Gambier in third with a 3-1 record. Millicent, after their 2 wins on the weekend, sit in fourth with a 5-2 record. And then we're followed by Ararat, Warrnambool, Terang, Colac and Hamilton sit on the bottom. So we've still got Colac and Hamilton who haven't been able to hit the winners list yet, but I know both teams will be looking to get on that later this season. And we'll shuffle across to the women. And again, like we mentioned earlier, only 1 game over the weekend, but it was the Mermaids who were able to run out 10-point victors over their arch rivals in Portland. Mia Mills, 16 points, continuing to do what she wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. At a very young age, I think of 18, not even quite 18 yet, she's definitely leading this team. And we've talked about it before. It feels like she's been around forever, Mia, but she's still very much a young junior. So she's obviously stepping up there. They've got a big list, Warrnambool. There's 12 girls on there. Looks like the points were spread across a lot of them. So they're contributing from everyone that kind of comes off the bench, which is big for them. But, they're hard to beat there. They would have had a big crowd. They would have all of their juniors there as well. And, I think it just, you know, it's hard to beat them there. But Warrnambool, there's just something about them. They're very hard to beat, I think, in any circumstances. And so, yeah, no surprises that they have come out on top. But I did see that Alana Strom put the boots on for Portland. So, you know, she's a big in, as we've talked about with them. But Tylee Barr continues to have a ripping season again, top scoring. So, you know, with obviously, you know, the coaching experience they have with Rebel, Portland will have, you know, lots of things in their bag to come back from that, I'd imagine.
And the ladder obviously doesn't change too much with only one game being in the women's conference. And your team, Horsham, still up on top with 1 win, followed closely by Millicent. Be a ripping game next week when you guys battle each other and one team becomes or has their first loss for the season. Where then Warrnambool jumped in front of Portland with a 1-1 record. Portland sitting there with a 1-2, and then closely followed and rounding out the ladder with Mount Gambier at 5th and Colac in 6th. So I know both Mount Gambier and Colac, again, both haven't had wins, and they'll be looking to get on the winners list. Again, you guys travel to Mount Gambier next week, so you don't want them to be the reason, or your team be the reason they're getting on the winners list, do you, Beck?
No, look, and I think we've talked about it with the ladder as well. Like by the end of November, we should see this sit a little bit more realistic of where it is. Obviously, you know, we've only played 1 game. So, you know, to be there, that's, you know, totally just a bit synthetic at the minute until obviously all the games are played. But yeah, with people only playing, you know, sporadic games throughout the fixture of the way it's set up. But yeah, I think come, you know, the start of December, we're going to start to have a really good, strong look heading into, you know, 3/4 of the season done. So yeah, this weekend we've got a lot of games which we'll have a look at later in the week. But yeah, I think we'll definitely be getting a little bit more evidence and a little bit more information for us by the end of this weekend.
We sure will. And that wraps up our round 4 review of the Southwest Conference. And stay tuned, everyone, for our round 5 preview, which will drop later this week.